Hello, and welcome to this week of Story Starters. I am Miss Kayla, and each week I hop on here to read a chapter or two from a different book to encourage anyone who's listening to maybe check those books out from the library if they enjoy the beginning, and to test out different books over the course of this series. So every week we hop back and forth. One week we do an older book, a classic, and then one week we do a newer book. So this week is a newer book. Also, I encourage anyone at home to, as you're listening, maybe grab some art supplies, some paint, some drawing supplies, or grab some blocks, Legos, spread them out over the floor. And if you like keeping your hands busy, I know I like keeping my hands busy while I listen to audiobooks or someone reading. That's a great way to engage with the story with your hands and with your imagination. Sometimes you might find that the story inspires you to create something. Sometimes you just want to create whatever you're making at home, but I know I enjoy doing that, so I encourage you to maybe experiment with some different art supplies or Legos, like I said, or blocks while you're listening. But of course, you are also welcome to just lean back, close your eyes, and listen. And so all the books that we read as part of our story starters, we do have at the Dubuque County Library. So if you hear one that you enjoy, I encourage you to check it out from the library to find out how it ends. So this week, the book for today is Swimming with Dolphins by Jessie Paddock. Chapter 1. For probably the first time ever, we're silent. Katie, and I sit at our usual yellow table at Jake's Freeze, our favorite ice cream shop. In front of Katie sits a dish of soft-serve swirl with hot fudge. It looks like a melting volcano. KT stabs a spoon into her cup of strawberry ice cream. I resist the urge to pick up a crayon and doodle on the scrap paper scattered among our scoops, because our attention is focused on something else, the empty chair parked at the end of the table. At last, a minute goes by. I fiddle with my left earring, a small silver stud in the shape of a dolphin. I got it for my birthday almost a year ago. I never take it off. This is hard, I sigh. Harder than the last chair-naming ceremony, for sure, KT agrees. But we got this. What about Beatrice? Katie suggests. That makes her sound old, I say. More like vintage, but fine. Katie rolls her eyes, pretending to be annoyed. Katie and I often disagree, but we only love each other more for it. I grin and take another lick of my cone. Rocky Road with chocolate sprinkles. Always Rocky Road with chocolate sprinkles. Jake's makes the best Rocky Road in all of Iowa City, and it's not just because his is the only ice cream shop with actual homemade ice cream. It sounds cheesy, but ice cream made with love? Well, you get it. Sapphire? Katie suggests. That wouldn't make sense. She's black and purple, not green, I say. Sapphires are blue, KT reminds her gently. You both are so literal, Katie says. We're literal Libras, I joke. We all chuckle. None of us knows much about astrology, just that our October birthdays make us all Libras. If we want to be accurate here, we need something that really implies girl boss, KT murmurs. Deaf, Katie and I agree in unison. Again, we fall into silence. The one day out of the box, good as new wheelchair, practically sparkles in the early afternoon light. More silence. Katie, KT, and I have been BFFs for 6 years. C2K squad, we call ourselves, because Katie's name starts with a C, and KT and mine start with K's. In addition to having the same name, despite different spellings, we all have October birthdays. We always have a joint birthday party. Not to brag, but our parties are the best. The best. Everyone knows it. Every year we pick a different theme, and the thing that makes them so fun is that everybody is invited. None of that nonsense where the cool kids exclude the less cool kids. The first year of our joint party, we decided it was too stressful to even think about guest list politics. Come one, come all, and pretty much everyone comes. Afterward, the three of us always sleep over at my house, where my parents have a Rice Krispies treat cake waiting. We've been planning our upcoming 13th birthdays all summer long. It was going to be the most epic yet. That was until I try not to think about it. I grab a crayon. Beautiful, the wrapper reads. I begin to sketch the only thing I ever really sketch. Mr. Jake equips every table in his shop with a jar of crayons and scrap paper. Scoops and sketches go together like whipped cream and sundaes, he explained when I asked him about it years ago. She's really a beauty, I say, licking the few remaining sprinkles off the surface of my cone. Katie and KT hum in agreement. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Mr. Jake wiping off a nearby table. After Katie and KT, I think I will miss Mr. Jake the most. I've spent countless hours at Jake's Freeze. On Friday nights, it's the place to be. My ice cream order hasn't changed in years, but he always lets me come behind the counter to look at any new special flavors anyway. The ledge on the customer-facing side of the freezer is just a few inches too tall for me to see over, but around back, where the scoopers stand, the edge doesn't come up as high, and I can peer inside, no problem. I've been a certified VIP at Jake's since I won the Name the Flavor contest when I was in 2nd grade. Dolphin Leap, a delicious mix of blueberry and vanilla cream, stayed on the menu that whole year. I always thought I'd get a job scooping ice cream for Mr. Jake the summer I turned 14. I pushed the thought out of my head. This concentrated silence is starting to get to me. We can talk about something else, I say. I don't want to take up our final minutes together stressing about a name. We should be thinking about our outfits for the first day of school. Not that they're going to see mine, I think. I won't be going into 7th grade with KT and Katie. Iowa City Middle for them, and Fernbank Middle School all the way down in Florida for me. That's right. No hope of being in the same English class. No chance at arriving at our first 7th grade dance, arm in arm. Definitely not going to resurrect summer. This list goes on. Don't be silly, Katie interjects. This is important. Yeah, team effort, Katie confirms. My heart smiles. I love my friends. It's got to be the perfect name. Katie furrows her brow. That's her thinking face. Show some Midwestern flair to those kids down in Florida. It took less convincing than I expected for my parents to get me this chair. Not like they would deny me a wheelchair. It's how I get around after all. Always have, always will. But this one is super fancy. Like less than 20 pounds, state of the art, and even comes in my favorite color. Major upgrade. A brand new chair would have been out of the question. Wheelchairs aren't cheap. But Mom is a pro at finding great deals online. My old chair, Wiggles, wasn't necessarily ready to officially retire, though she was looking a little battered around the edges. I didn't put it quite this way. I have manners, of course. But since Mom and Dad are moving us all the way to Fernbank, Florida, less than 60 days before my 13th birthday, with basically no warning, away from everything I know and love, I figured a spiffy new ride wasn't too much to ask for. I was born and raised in Iowa City, so I don't know a ton about being the new kid, but I'm pretty sure that showing up on the first day of 7th grade in a clunky, not-so-polished chair would be a major faux pas. I got it, Katie begins. I tear my eyes from my drawing. Not my best work, but not my worst either, and focus on Katie. She looks determined. Priscilla. That sounds like a doily, I say with a giggle. KT shakes her head and laughs. Or a princess, Katie insists. But now that I think about it, my cousin Priscilla acts like a total princess, and not in the cute or vintage way, so scratch that. This beautiful hunk of rubber and steel and glory deserves a name as beautiful and glorious and strong as KT herself, KT says. Yes, and as Libra-y as KT herself, Katie agrees. And as rubbery and steely. I'm as rubbery and steely as they come. I flex my arm muscles and growl. We all start giggling, and then full on laughing, because without even saying anything, we know that I'm referencing the time Enrique gave me a Valentine, though it was actually a stick figure drawing of him flexing. The cell phone in my lap buzzes. A text from Lucy, my big sister, pops up. 5 away. I'm really going, I say. I was hoping this was all a dream that would just evaporate before it was too late. As if they're reading my mind, because, let's be honest, both KT and Katie can basically read my mind. Katie throws her arm around my shoulders, and Katie reaches over the table and takes hold of my free hand. Nothing is going to change, Katie assures me. Well, okay, like literally everything is going to change, but that's only on the outside. On the inside, we're the same. C2K squad for life. I nod, but I feel tears rushing from that place where they hide, deep behind my eyeballs. I blink them away quickly and pop the final bite of my cone into my mouth. Sorry, I don't mean to be dramatic, I say, once I finish chewing. Katie nearly cuts me off. I don't think shedding a tear at a time like this counts as dramatic. Yeah, Katie said softly. You can cry. We promise we won't watch. That makes me smile. I feel like I'm moving to a postcard. Is it even real down there? I've only ever seen pictures of the ocean, never seen it in real life. All those photos look fake. The palm trees and Kool-Aid colored water and sea animals jumping all over the place can't actually exist, right? Don't act like you don't want to see dolphins leaping out of the water. That's like your dream, Katie says. You're not wrong, I admit. There we go. 3 points to Florida, Katie says, always the optimist. A good one, by the way. Katie points to the beautiful dolphin I've absent-mindedly drawn. The dorsal fin is a little off, if you ask me, but it's definitely still a dolphin. It's fitting that I am a genius at drawing my favorite animal. Look, Katie begins, not sorry to brag, but I'm only like 10,000 subscribers away from becoming YouTube famous. Katie and I roll our eyes. Katie has been pushing hard for YouTube fame all summer. In June, she was all about makeup tutorials, and then her mom caught her and said 12 is way too young to wear eyeliner. I helped her film a gazillion videos of her performing Shakespeare-inspired sonnets I had written from the perspective of her dog. This past month, she decided to invent her own victory dance that will be so hilarious all college players will want to use it when they score, and then they'll have to pay her a fee or something. I don't totally follow the logic, but she's convinced. I wish I were going to be here next month to see what ridiculous / completely hilarious idea she comes up with next. Seriously, Katie shouts. The second I get my first sponsor, I'm buying Katie and me first-class tickets to come see you. We'll all be teenagers by then. It will be great. I inhale, and a loose sprinkle falls onto the table. I resist the urge to eat it. I need to spit out what I've been thinking about since the moment I knew I was leaving. I can't avoid it any longer. You should still have the party. Are you crazy? Katie says, almost spitting out a mouthful of strawberry ice cream. Katie drops her spoon into a hunk of hot fudge, leans back, crosses her arms, and gives me her tough look. Katie is near tears, and Katie appears ready to rumble. Typical. I can't help but crack a smile. I love how well I know my best friends. I'm serious, I insist. Just because I won't be there doesn't mean you both won't be turning 13. Not celebrating a birthday is like a cardinal sin. Plus, Resurrect Summer is way too good of a theme to bail on. The irony that I'm moving to a place where it's practically always summer is not lost on me. That is so not the point, Katie challenges. We could never do it without you, Katie continues, which is exactly what I need to hear. Besides, what would be the fun of throwing a big birthday party if you didn't argue with me about the decorations, Katie adds. I still can't believe you wanted to make 40 mermaid tails by hand that time, I say with a laugh. Nothing beats homemade decor, Katie claims. We dissolve into giggles, the kind of laughter that makes your stomach hurt, but also isn't all that different from crying either. The cowbell over the door clanks behind me. Lucy's arrived. I know it's her by the look on Katie and Katie's faces. Even after 6 solid years of BFF-ship, they still blush when Lucy is within earshot. No matter how many times I tell them that Lucy is quiet because she's shy, not because she's mean, she is basically the biggest softie ever, who would rather play video games than be mean to 12-year-olds. They can't get over being intimidated by my big sister. I feel a tug on the back of my strawberry blonde fishtail braid. Hey, KT lady, she says. Hey, other Katies. Hi, my friends chirp in unison. I hate to break up the party. Oh, and Kate, you have sprinkles on your lip, she says. I wipe what feels like more sprinkles than is humanly possible off my mouth with the back of my hand, and I'm not embarrassed. All present company know I'm a messy sprinkle eater, and that's all there is to it. That's when it hits me. OMG, sprinkle, that's it, I exclaim. Sprinkle? Katie and Katie repeat. You love sprinkles, it's perfect, Katie confirms. It's not too... My voice trails off as I search for the right word. I don't know, flashy for her? I say, waving my fingers in the air. What I really mean is it too flashy for me? No way, it's perfect, Katie says. Perfect for both you and your new chair, Katie adds. Katie claps. More perfect than perfect. I'll take their word for it. Sprinkle it is, I say, relieved to finally have made the decision. It's not right to use a chair before giving her a proper name. Everybody knows that. Okay, you goofballs. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but KT, Mom and Dad are trying to get on the road before the next touchdown. Dad thinks it's bad luck to begin a road trip while we're in the end zone for some reason. Lucy and I share a good-natured eye roll. My parents are obsessed with Iowa Hawkeyes sports, football in particular, as are most people in Iowa City. I'm surprised they even considered living somewhere outside the range of their local radio station. I don't totally care about football. I know for a fact those helmets don't protect players very well. But I do love that everybody in Iowa City has something big to care about together, even if it's football. I'm about to scooch out of my seat at the end of the booth and onto Sprinkle when my dolphin doodle catches my eye. Along with coloring supplies on every table, Jake's has a bulletin board by the register where anyone can pin up their artwork. On Sundays, the wall resets, so it's like a rotating gallery. Though my drawing skills don't extend much beyond aquatic life, fish, seaweed, and shellfish are also among my specialities. I gotta represent the Wynn family. I always tack up my dolphin picture on the right side closest to the window. But today, my last day at Jake's Freeze with my two best friends in the entire world, I have a better idea. I grab another crayon, something in the violet family. I scroll out C2K for life above the dolphin, then tear the drawing in half. One for Katie, one for Katie. I hand them over. For life, I whisper. Maybe I'm being dramatic, but I'm not alone. As we hug goodbye, we hide our tears from no one. After the waterworks die down, Lucy nudges me. It really is time to go. On my way out, I make sure to catch Mr. Jake's attention. How was your cone? He asks. A+. I give him a high five. Mr. Jake is the oldest and kindest person I know. He's had his shop since my parents were students at the University of Iowa, aka a million years ago. You better send us some sunshine from Florida come December, he says. I manage to smile, even though something about his request makes my heart ache a bit more than it already does. Okay, express email, I promise. Mr. Jake gives my head a pat and then leans down for a hug. He smells like sweet cream and peanut butter. He says, I'll miss you, Rocky Road with chocolate sprinkles. I'll miss you, too, I want to say, but no words come out. I just hold on tight. And that is the end of chapter 1, so I will stop there. So again, the book for today was Swimming with Dolphins by Jessie Paddock. We've got that here at the Dubuque County Library, so if you enjoyed the beginning of it and want to find out what happens to Katie down in Florida with her dolphins, go ahead and check it out. And join us next time for another book with story starters. Bye.